The kingdom of God cometh not with observation, neither shall they say, Lo here or lo there. For behold, the kingdom of God is within you. What would you call this practice of healing that was just performed? I don't know what you would call it, but I do know what the medical science and pharmaceutical industries would call it. They'd call it the placebo effect. Is it sorcery or is it ancient science? Previously on Perspective is Everything. Ancients were not clergymen and women who stood on soapboxes and looked down upon each other, but they were rather astronomers and alchemists that compared those relations to the human anatomy. I should also let you know the story of Jacob's dream of a ladder actually isn't the original version, is in fact an adaptation from the ancient Mesopotamian tale, the Epic of Gilgamesh. Esoteric insights into the spiritual and metaphysical aspects of the human anatomy and the elements that are utilized to create the body, the temple of the living. Join me for the next video in this series as I share with you how the medical and pharmaceutical industries are aware of the metaphysical and biological structures of Jacob's ladder. I'm referring to none other than the Caduceus, or some might say the rod of Asclepius. Welcome back. Thank you for making the choice and joining me on this journey within the matrix of ancient scriptures. Let's pick up where I last left off in my analysis of the multidimensional symbolism of universal forces and the elements within the universe. Let's do a quick recap, shall we? Our main character, Jacob, with a stone for a pillow, rested in a place in his dream that started in Beersheba. Jacob then traveled towards Haran. The city in which both these places were located was previously named Luz. Jacob then changed the name of the place to Bethel. Why is this important? Why, out of the entire dream of angels encountered with God, descendants numerous as the dusts of the earth, and a ladder, am I starting with the names and locations in a dream? Well, because throughout ancient scriptures, there are numerous times in parables that names are intentionally emphasized. As I previously mentioned, Jacob called the name of the place Bethel, the house of God. But the name of the city was previously called Luz. The name change is an indication that the writers wanted the reader to know the importance recording the name change. This one line, as small as it is, should not be overlooked or dismissed merely as nothing. But let me just say this really briefly. Why is it that such a significant piece of ancient history as a name change of a city was only recorded in ancient scriptures and nowhere else? To my knowledge, no town hall records, no bookkeepers of the city, no other historians, no other neutral body of records. Here we have it recorded in ancient scriptures, but we're still unable to find any related evidence. Nowhere else mentioning an actual section of land being changed to a different name. Why is that? Let that simmer with you for a minute while I continue to decode this parable. According to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, a name is a word or phrase that constitutes the distinctive designation of a person or a thing. It goes on to say a name is also a word or symbol used in logic to designate an entity. So basically, the meaning is sometimes in the name itself. For example, YouTube. The name combines you and tube, indicating a platform where you could record videos of yourself or other things and share them out on video. A tube, a platform for sharing and watching these videos. Here's another one for you. Credit card. The name combines credit, which designates the transaction type for finance, and card, the vessel in which you utilize to carry around your credit. Simple enough, right? So now that you understand the meaning is oftentimes in the name itself, let's go back and decode the names of the places Jacob visited in his dream. Jacob rested in a place called Beersheba. In Hebrew, Beer translates as well or pool, and Sheba translates as oath, seals of 7. So combined together, Beersheba means well of 7 oaths, seals. Jacob then traveled towards Haran. In Hebrew, Haran translates as mountain, the top. Jacob later named this place Bethel, which if you've watched my previous videos, El is shorthand for God, and Beth means house. So combined together, Bethel means the house of God. And finally, the mystery hidden key. The city was formerly named Luz. As I stated earlier, the writers are indirectly asking the reader to ask questions about Luz, almost like a hidden code for a future generation to unravel. Are you ready to know what Luz translates to in Hebrew? Any guesses to what you think it symbolizes? Bueller? It means almond, like a tree. Like a tree. Interesting. But also bone, as in spine. Also interesting, isn't it? Who would have thought? The writers intentionally wanted you to know the meaning of Luz by calling out the name change, referring to the spine being the physical ladder of Jacob. So, now that the names are decoded, let's connect the dots here so you can start to see the bigger picture. Jacob meditated in a place called the Well of 7 Seals. He then traveled up to the top, the mountain. The place where this is all located is in bone, a tree-like almond with spine. Jacob named this place the house of God. Fascinating, isn't it? A well of 7 seals, upwards to a mountain, to the top, all within a tree-like bone of a spine, the house of God. What does all this mean? What is hidden in this place, the house of God? Now you're asking the right question. Let's find out. This is Perspective is Everything. Chapter 1, the Caduceus, the rod of Asclepius. There are a couple symbols that different cultures and religions have utilized as a representation of Jacob's ladder. In this particular video, I'm going to discuss with you the Caduceus, or others may know it as the rod of Asclepius. So what is a Caduceus? You may have seen it and you may recognize it. It's possible you've walked past it many times and has never stood out to you before. Very few understand the meaning and the symbolism it represents. The Caduceus is comprised of two snakes coiled around a staff, a rod. This rod, or some may say a magic wand, was carried by the Greek god Hermes Trismegistus, the thrice great. A magic wand? A rod of snakes? Come on, guys. Where do they come up with this stuff? It sounds like some Harry Potter stuff, really. Wait a minute. Rod? Snakes? That's interesting. Hey, did you know Moses in the Bible also carried a rod? He used it to perform miraculous events. He traveled down to Egypt and spoke to the Pharaoh, demonstrating the powers that were endowed to him by God, using this magic rod. Yeah, I remember that now. Moses. He threw down this rod on the ground and it transformed into a snake, a serpent. It was like magic. What do you think that was all about? Very fascinating. I'm gonna have to write that one down. It'd make a really good video for another time. But anyways, back to the Caduceus. The Caduceus is the official insignia of the United States Medical Corps, as well as the Navy Pharmacy Division and the Public Health Services. You may have also seen it on the side of an ambulance, on the doors of a hospital, or its building. You may have also seen it throughout the various websites and publications in the pharmaceutical industries. The rod of Caduceus was used as a printer's mark on the inside cover of the title page on medical publications in the 16th century. In many other countries around the world, including those in Asia, Africa, and South America, as well as the WHO, the World Health Organization, they use a similar symbol known as the rod of Asclepius. Asclepius, in Greek religion and mythology, was a god of medicine. The rod of Asclepius is a staff with a single snake coiled around it. The symbol represented healing and medicine. The snake also holds deep symbolic meaning. In many ancient cultures, snakes were seen as a symbol of rebirth, renewal, and transformation because of their ability to shed their skin. This regenerative quality aligned with Asclepius's role as a healer and one who could bring about recovery and new life. The rod of Asclepius also became a prominent emblem for medical organizations, particularly those adhering to the Hippocratic Oath, which has its roots in ancient Greek medicine. Oath, or in other words, Sheba, 7 seals. The rod of Asclepius remains one of the most enduring symbols in medicine, representing health, healing, and the ancient origins of medical practice. The Greeks also used the rod of Asclepius as a symbol of commerce and resolving disputes peacefully. Many medical institutions, especially those outside of the United States, continue to use the rod of Asclepius as a symbol of medicine, recognizing its historical and mythological connections to healing. While the rod of Asclepius is said to be the correct symbol for healing and medicine, the Caduceus became widely adopted by medical organizations, particularly in the United States, due to a misunderstanding or visual similarity between the two symbols. The Caduceus also has a history that is linked to commerce and negotiation. During the times of the Romans, the Caduceus was printed on coins dating back to the 1st century. The Romans associated the Caduceus with commerce, negotiation, and balance. It is often linked to Mercury, who was Hermes in the Greek mythology, the god of trade, travel, and communication. In Roman culture, it primarily represented trade and the protection of merchants. But let's not stop there. Let's even go further back. Because you see, in ancient Egyptian mythology, a symbol similar to the Caduceus existed and held significance, particularly in the context of healing and protection. I'm referring to the Riayas staff, or the Wajat symbol. This symbol, featuring a staff intertwined by one or two serpents, had meanings tied to health, protection, and royal authority. So, magic wand, a rod of healing and medicine. Moses with a rod that he transformed into a serpent. All these mythological gods. I have a question for you. Let's say, hypothetically, we just so happen to have lived during this period of time. And let's say, hypothetically, you were someone that believed in the magic wand of healing. You believed in the ancient teachings of Moses, and you came to me for healing. And let's say you knew I was a board-certified member of the Gospels. I then gave you a glass of water to drink, and I told you the water was taken straight from the rivers of heaven, rivers that flow from the Garden of Eden. You took the glass, and without any hesitation, without a single thought of disbelief, without any fear or questions what was in the water, you immediately drank it and was cured on the spot. My question to you is, what would you call me? What would you call this practice of healing that was just performed? I don't know what you would call it, but I do know what the medical science and pharmaceutical industries would call it. They'd call it the placebo effect. Is it sorcery, or is it ancient science? Jay, that's not even the craziest part you're telling me. Hold on, man. The guy has 13 children, 4 wives, and lives in a 2-story mansion. What? It's bigger than 2 stories. How big? His father lives there? He's blind. And his twin brother? He's got what on his body? Come on, man. How big is this house? Wait, the red light's on. They listening to us. Hold on. Anyways, I was just talking to Jay here. I know I can't tell them if they don't subscribe and join the family. So yeah, do us a favor. Hit the subscribe button. Give a thumbs up to this video and drop a comment. I can't just come out there and tell them right now. These scriptures have been written for thousands of years, and you want me just to blab? Who told you to write it in a riddle? What? I can't just come out here and tell them right now. They're not going to understand. Come on, man. Dusts of the earth, huh? You guys and your riddles, something else. But anyways, subscribe, like the video, leave a comment, and I'll introduce you to Jay here. He's got a lot. I will let you tell them your story. Okay, guy? You guys in these riddles. Anyways, back to the Caduceus. I got to share with you in that. So tell me your story. The anointing flows from where? Come on, man. You guys in these riddles already. For those that are unfamiliar with the placebo effect refers to the phenomenon where a patient experiences real improvements in their symptoms after receiving a treatment that has no therapeutic value, such as a sugar pill or a saline injection. It works purely because the patient believed. They believed that they actually received the treatment. They believed. The modern scientific study of the placebo effect gained traction in the mid-20th century. Research begins to investigate how placebos would influence clinical outcomes, particularly in the pain management and psychological conditions. The famous 1955 study by Henry K. Beecher highlighted the significant importance of placebos in surgical and medical treatments. The history of the placebo effect dates back centuries and reflects evolving understanding of medicine, psychology, and the human experience. In ancient times, the concept of placebo-like treatments can be traced to ancient civilizations, where shamans used treatments and rituals to employ alongside herbal remedies. Early healers recognized the importance of belief in healing. The term placebo itself originated from Latin, meaning "I shall please." You'd be very surprised to know how many ancient scriptures, even in the Bible, are parables of what we know to be the placebo effect. I'll eventually do a separate topic on this video, but in the meantime, let's continue back on Jacob's ladder. So, a ladder, a stairway into heaven, and the angels of the Lord. Angels ascending and descending from earth into heaven on a stairway. Angels on a stairway. What kind of angels are these? Have you ever thought about that? I mean, really, ask the question. I don't know about you, but I recall angels being depicted with wings. If you go to any cathedral across the globe or search on the internet, angels are all shown with wings. I mean, they're able to fly, right? So why did Jacob see angels going up and down stairs? What were these, aerobic angels? Wait. Do you mean to tell me Jacob saw runway model angels? Was this what he was dreaming about? Were these gym angels on the Stairmasters 5000 doing cardio? Were these angels trying to get into their heavenly bodies? Let me find out. Maybe I'm the only one that has ever asked this question, or maybe not. It could just be me and how my brain works, the perspective that I look at things at. But I should let you know the word angels means messenger. Interesting. Where did the concept of wings on an angel come from? But anyways, as I've shared with you, there are numerous world organizations and governing bodies throughout history that has symbolized the Caduceus and the rod of Asclepius as a representation of healing and medicine. A hidden representation of Jacob's ladder. But why? For what purpose? Why not choose something else? Something like a heart, or even the brain? Or what about the entire body itself? Why such a significant symbol that holds deep esoteric connections to ancient scriptures? Well, I'm going to tell you. It has everything to do with a specific and wonderfully made system in the human anatomy, the temple of the living God. I'm referring to none other than our endocrine messenger system. Yes, you heard that correct. The body's chemical messenger network. But you're going to have to join me for the next video in this series as I continue to decode the symbolism of Jacob's ladder and the endocrine messenger system. Messengers. There it is again. Angels. Weird. But anyways, please like the video. Please leave a comment on this video and share anything you found interesting. Anything that you might have already known or not known. Please share it with your friends and loved ones. Share it at the bingo halls, at the deli counters. I don't know. Just share it. Share it with your pastor. And let's all start to have a conversation and to question these things that we've been told. There's so much more I'm planning to decode in this matrix of scriptures. I know I've said this before, but really, I haven't even begun to get to the deepest depths of this riddle. Son of man, put forth a riddle and speak a parable unto the house of Israel. In the meantime, this is Perspective is Everything.